Okay, so I don't actually have an agenda tonight. I left it open because I really wanted to cover some of the things that we've been talking about in our chat and just talk about any questions people are having, maybe where we're seeing some struggle or concern or things like that from the group, and just kind of cover those areas since we're in our first week. I want to make sure that we have time to really kind of dive into those things and feel good about where we're headed. Because the worst thing we can do right now is to be like, this is kind of hard or this is difficult, so I'm just going to stop. So I want to make sure we know that like this week there are going to be mess ups, and they're not really mess ups. They're just you're changing your habits. You're changing how you do things. And so much of that is on autopilot that it's going to take some time to work through that and realize, okay, I did something that I used to do. So now I need to figure out how I can make it easier to do the thing I want to do and then continue down that path. And it, takes time and energy. And so I just want to make sure everybody knows it's all part of the plan, really, even though it feels off plan, it's part of the plan. So, are there any questions to start? Anything anybody wants to kick off with?
Thanks. Thanks to Beverly and Lily. I started again and I felt much better.
Good.
I fell off the second day. I thought I was not eating enough and I was like, I am not in it. So I started this morning. I cut a bunch of fruit and veggies and I got all my containers in and I was like, yes.
Awesome.
So yes.
That feels good.
I felt much better.
Hey.
Like I felt much better.
Good job. I'm glad you started again.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, if anybody's watching this recording too, at any point, you can start again, right? I mean, I know as coaches, we have all restarted ourselves many times on many things because that's the goal, is to continue to progress toward making these your permanent habits versus just like, oh, boom, I should be able to know this, or I know what to do, I just don't do it. Well, the doing it is the most important part. So it takes a little, you're going to fall back a little bit, but really getting back on, starting again, moving forward is the critical piece. All right. So what, let's see here. I know in the group we had some, I don't know how people are feeling about the amount of containers they have. Like if you feel like you can get them all in, or if you feel like you have too few, like you're hungry all the time. Either way, is anybody feeling those things?
I still struggle with getting all of mine in.
Getting them all in. Okay.
I've never been a huge eater to begin with.
Yeah.
So trying to get I think I'm supposed to get 8 veggies alone. It's like, it's no.
Okay. So let's talk about that, because that definitely, we run into that one a lot. So, so the calories you're getting are likely not all that different from the calories you were getting before, possibly less if you put yourself in a weight loss bracket. Right. But the volume of the food is likely big difference, right? Because maybe you're eating the calories in a different form, especially if it was processed. It's a much more condensed form. So now you have much larger volumes, right? Especially, with all the vegetables, 7 cups of vegetables is substantial. So what you want to think about is, are there places where you can have something that's containerized, right? So something on the food list, but maybe smaller in volume. So I think I had mentioned in one post to Emily about how you could do spinach instead of cauliflower rice, right? Those are 2 different volumes of things when you're ingesting. So if you're doing some leafy greens as some of your veggies, then that will feel less loaded than if you had beets or something that's more dense. So that's one way to do it, and just kind of look at each container like brown rice might, I'm trying to think, well, brown rice and sweet potatoes aren't in the same category because they're now different. I'm trying to think of things in those yellows that maybe feel less dense.
Yeah.
You know, having your shake as one of your vegan proteins, that's definitely going to feel less dense than having tofu
Right.
or something else solid. So you just kind of play around with it. Fruit, like I feel like berries feel less heavy than a banana or some of
Yeah.
the other, you know, mango, things like that. And just kind of see where, you know, if you can kind of play with what's going into your containers so that you can try to get them all in. And over
Yeah.
this next week or two, your body will continue to adjust to this volume. It's going through a period of adjustment with the fiber, with the volume, and also just everything that's going on, right? Because if you have some raw, you might have more bloating, so you might feel more full. So making sure we're still cooking this week. And I lost my train of thought. There was one more thing along there. It's gonna come back. So, but you know, it's one of those, it's just one of those things where as you're normalizing, right? And if you do have to miss some, try to miss different ones each day. Don't always
Right.
miss the yellow. Don't always miss the purple, right? So that you're kind of changing around which micro and macronutrients that you're missing that day.
Yeah.
So I think those are the things. I don't know if you guys have any other, Lily and Bev, if you have anything to add to like not getting your containers in, tips for kind
Oh,
of.
there's actually a question in the chat, and it says, if you're not able to eat all the food, which food should you focus on getting in? That's the first part of the question. And then the second one is, anyone else getting headaches or feeling tired? Probably the detox, but I'm curious how long it may last.
Okay, so
I've been getting headaches.
you're getting headaches? Okay, let
Yeah.
me bump back to the which ones should you miss or which ones should you prioritize? I think if you're lifting weights, you'd prioritize protein, but if you're weight loss, I'd prioritize making sure you get all your veggies in. I mean, just because that's going to give you a lot of nutrients. So it'd be protein and veggies first and then come out of that. But again, I don't necessarily want you missing a yellow every day. Right?
Right.
So I think still switching it up helps so that you're not missing the same thing every day.
Carbs are not bad.
The carbs are not bad. And the carbs we have in
No,
our
they're very
diet are going
important.
to be very, very helpful for everything. Okay, so then headaches, let's talk about that. So this really depends on what life looked like before, I think, in a lot of ways, because if you had more sugar or more caffeine going into the gut protocol, then you could have had a more drastic change, right? And so, yes,
Yeah.
you're for sure going to feel that. You know, people talk about like even a little bit of flu-like symptoms, it's your body kind of coming off of those things and not getting what it thinks it's going to get. And I would say it should be just a couple days. I mean, some people can have lower grade headaches for up to a week, but that's a pretty extreme. You probably had a lot of sugar and a lot of caffeine prior. What'd you say? Oh, okay. So, you know, it's one of those things where I would, if you know which thing it was, like, let's say, you know, like I ate a lot of sugar and now I've cut out the sugar and that's where it is. I'd kind of just work through it and wish you the best. If caffeine was the thing, you could potentially have just a little bit more green tea or something and wean yourself down during this week. I mean, ideally, it would be great to wean yourself the week before we start. And we probably should have talked about that in prep week. Like if you are a high caffeine consumer, a high sugar consumer, now's the time to really start layering that down so that you don't have quite the effects. And then outside of that, I'd pay attention to your foods. Is it happening around certain things? You know, just there can be some triggers for headaches. If you have a food sensitivity, that can be a symptom from people. So I would just kind of note, you know, it always happens when I have such and such. Like I didn't get headaches with soy, but I felt brain fog, I felt nauseous, I had acne appear out of nowhere. So like there are different symptoms, and you should kind of watch when those things occur.
Yeah.
Or getting
I've
tired.
heard it from almonds too. Like that's
Oh,
a
okay.
common one. Almonds, and like any type of almond milk, almond butter. But yeah, I mean, and I think it'll take longer the less hydrated you are too,
Oh, yeah.
because the hydration is like really key to actually, flushing your system out. So,
Good. Yeah, good tip there. Cause yeah, and then you also, I mean, cause you can get a headache from being dehydrated too. So
mhm.
yeah.
And by hydrated, I mean to at least drink at least half your body weight in ounces of water. That's like a
A
baseline
minimum.
in a day. Yes, that's like, don't
I'm
go
not-
below this
yeah.
line.
And I'm not like a subscriber to these high levels. Like I see people talking about 200 ounces, and that
Mm-mm.
then you're actually taking nutrients out because you're flushing what your body does have in it. So,
Right.
somewhere it's a reasonable amount. But really
Yeah.
that minimum is the half your
And it really,
your body weight in
Yeah.
ounces.
and it really depends on your activity level too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're a sweater and you are doing stuff that you're sweating, well, then you're going to require more than that. You're going to require more water. But if you are not, like I don't sweat very much when I work out anymore. So I don't really stress over that. Like I have my one glass that goes with my workout and I'm usually pretty good. But these lift more workouts sometimes really make me really sweaty. So I've had a little bit of before I started the gut protocol back up again, I was having like a third of a scoop of hydrate with Energize. So, and there's sugar in that. So
Oh, good. Sorry, did you get Tracy the link? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lily. I wasn't looking at my phone.
Oh, and going back to the whole idea of like getting containers in. So there is one trick with greens is you can do the greens boost. But
Oh,
if you are
Mhm.
if you're like struggling with not feeling full enough, well then that's not a good answer. So, but if you are continually feeling like you can barely get all the greens in, that's a great place to sneak in a green container is with the greens boost.
Okay. I have
And
some of the
rice.
greens boost, and I like it.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't like
Yeah.
the taste of it plain.
No.
I mix it in with the shake, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a little intense on its own. Like I think it's the same as what they use in the Ultimate Reset. And
Yeah.
I grew accustomed to it, but still
Mhm.
it was just like, yeah, I don't know. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the best flavor in the world. And then when it comes to riced cauliflower, I don't know what size, like what your measurement is, but it's not a full green. Riced cauliflower is actually 3/4 of a cup is a serving. Since it's riced, they reduce it because there's less space, like what it would be if it was like if it was whole cauliflower.
Mhm.
So that can also be a saving grace too.
So you're saying you only need to fill up your green container like 3/4 of the way
correct.
Right.
to have one green of riced
Right.
cauliflower? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that definitely gives you a little bit less volume
Mhm.
than a full cup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any like oatmeal. You can put oatmeal into, like, if you're struggling with getting your yellow A's, you can put like uncooked oatmeal into your shake and blend it into your shake.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about doing that.
You put
I'm trying to
You
think.
can use the blue container to measure it in.
Oh, you
When you
use
said
blue?
some,
Yeah, so it's not like you would fill a yellow and put it in, you'd fill it, it's because a yellow is cooked oatmeal. So
Oh,
you
yeah, yeah.
could use a
Okay.
blue, because that's half of a yellow, you could use a blue to then just, measure it and dump it in.
Okay.
Right,
Tracy?
right.
So 1/2 blue.
Trying to think what else.
Hey, Beverly,
Um,
when you said the green boost, I mean, can you blend, on an example, extract like the two veggies and just drink it? Would that be considered to drink more,
I,
like to eat more veggies? Do you know what I'm talking about?
are you meaning juicing?
No,
Mhm.
she's talking about just drinking the Power Greens and water.
No,
And
no, no, no.
No,
Juicing.
she's asking about juicing.
Mhm.
No, because so when you juice it, then you're not getting the fiber content. Whereas I know that doesn't seem right because with the power greens, you would think, well, but you are
Mhm.
actually getting some of the fiber in that. I mean, it's not just liquid. So
But
so
I'm not using the
yeah.
extract. I'm using the blender just to blend the veg.
yeah, if you're extracting anything from it, it is not
Yeah.
approved, just because you're taking out what we want you to have on the gut protocol. We want you to have all that
Mhm.
fiber. We want you to have
Yeah.
everything that comes with it, because it also helps the release of the sugar into your system from that fruit to be slower. So
Mhm.
juicing really elevates your blood sugar levels quickly,
Right.
and having a whole fruit does not. Plus, you're more full
Mhm.
with a whole fruit, and so
Yeah.
then you're not, as ravenous for the next meal kind of thing. You could end up overeating essentially.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you were literally like taking a half a banana and spinach and I don't know, an apple. I don't know. If you're blending that and you're literally drinking that, well, that's fine. But if you're not consuming all of that, then no.
Yeah, that's what I was asking,
You're
because I mean, there's a juice that I normally do, and I put pineapple, celery,
Mhm,
and cactus, and I blend it. And I mean, I
mhm.
drink it.
And then you
I don't
drink all of
extract it,
it?
and I'll drink all of it because I measure it enough to drink 8 ounces at a time. So
Okay. Well, but so depending upon your measurements, like if you were able to determine like I don't know where cactus would fall. Like I don't know what that is. Is that a vegetable? Is
it's
it
a
a
green.
fruit?
It's a
Do you know?
vegetable.
Yeah, it
It's a
should be a
vegetable.
green, I think.
Yeah, it is a green.
Okay.
I'll look and see if it's on the list.
Well, so like if you were able to determine like it was a cup of cactus and a cup of pineapple and what else? Oh, and a cup of celery. Is celery on there? I don't think celery's on there. Is it on there? It
Let's
might not be. It might be too low calorie. I almost feel like that's a freebie in this world.
Oh, cactus is on the food list for gut protocol under a green.
Okay.
Celery is
Celery,
And
also
it's
there.
celery should be.
okay.
Calories on the green
Okay.
container.
All right.
It's in the
Well, so
it's in the lower third.
okay. Well, so yes, if you were able to measure out like a cup of each and then blend that and drink all that together, then you would know that you have two greens and a purple. And then that's, yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, I found another
Mhm.
easier way. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like stone fruits are like which we're getting out of the season of them, but they're still around a little bit. I feel like they are less voluminous to me, like because it's not literally a cup measurement. I feel like it's less. Like there's just less.
Hmm.
Like if you have a plum, like a black plum versus a cup of strawberries or something, I just feel like that's a little less. Um, I don't know. Usually most people struggle with the veggies. And yeah, I mean
Right.
the rice, cauliflower, and the spinach or whatever greens. Because spinach actually breaks down like if you're doing like another type of green, I feel like you get less Like spinach, I feel like you get a little bit more. It's definitely more nutritious, but like say romaine or something like that, or mixed greens, I feel like you get a little less quantity than with spinach.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's just something you have to play around with and know that you're also going to adjust to it. And try different combinations and see how you feel with them. Like I had roasted root vegetables tonight, and that just feels dense. You know what I mean? So a great time, like I chose it because I didn't have any, wasn't going to have any other sides because I made it into like a salad, but because there was sweet potato in it too, so I had the things. So then it's fine. But if you're going to have that, plus you're having some kind of yellow and some kind of protein and, whatever else you have left, then it may not be the best option. You might want to choose something that's a little more watery. Like I find sauteed zucchini, I can go through pretty quickly, right? It's not something that feels heavy. It's very water driven and, get through. Where
Celery.
broccoli is a little more filling.
right. The cruciferous are much more filling. Cauliflower in whole and broccoli, yes.
Or like squash doesn't, like the summer squash and stuff like that, that doesn't seem very filling to me either.
But winter squash get more filling.
Right.
And doesn't the first thing, if you take the first thing, doesn't that count as half a green also?
Actually, they changed that.
Oh no, because I've been counting
It
it as
says
half
it
my
on the
green.
package, and they talked about it at Summit because they released it to the packaging and then changed it a couple days later where it's just a freebie. So it's not
Oh,
counted as
darn.
anything with either plan.
Because I'm like, oh, it tastes so bad. At least I'm counting it as something.
You're like, at least I get a container.
Yeah.
Have you tried it with the cranberry juice, the unsweetened cranberry juice yet?
No, I forgot to get it
it's
at the
better.
store.
Oh, you've gotta.
I'm-
Yeah.
I actually like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is good.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
gonna
it,
get
it
some the next
completely
time I
masks
go.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're okay with unsweetened cranberry juice, let's put that
Right,
caveat
it's
on
very
there, because
tart.
if you do not
Yeah.
enjoy that, then it may not get better for you.
No, I'm fine
No.
with it. So I would be fine with it. I've just been using like a spoonful of unsweetened applesauce like after I down it,
Oh yeah.
and that gets the
Yeah.
taste away, but I'm gonna try it with the cranberry juice next. I just forgot to get
Yeah.
it at the store.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
it's hard to find an unsweetened cranberry juice. It took me like looking over the entire juice section. I'm like, there was one.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
seriously?
It's
One
actually
unsweetened
harder
cranberry
to
juice.
get. It's
Yeah.
it's hard to find the unsweetened version. 'Cause
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, I
something that's
bet.
sugar in them.
Because they're all like cocktail juices, or they've got
Yes.
all this added sugar.
I know
Yes.
ours is found in the organic section, in the cold
Okay.
organic section though, and nowhere else in the store.
Oh, ours was in the juice, and there was
Um,
like 4 or 5 different kinds. We have a lot of like unsweetened things and good juices.
You're in the healthy side of the world over there.
But
So
this-
you actually mix your first thing in with the cranberry
Yeah.
juice, or you just drink the
Yes.
cranberry juice after?
yeah, I do
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever water I did before is now cranberry juice.
Okay, cool.
And I do my first thing with like literally the first thing I do in the morning. And so I will do a teaspoon of peanut butter sometimes if I'm already hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that just helps everything feel fine.
Yeah.
If I'm not already hungry, then I don't really need it, and it's fine. It doesn't like
Yeah.
feel unsettled or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But that Isabel Deichler had talked about how taking it with a little bit of fat can just if your stomach isn't quite settled or ready for it right away, then that can help also feel good.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
You
Thank you.
just have to use one of those teaspoons.
Yeah.
Not a freebie.
exactly.
It's not a freebie.
Yeah, I'm bummed about that because between the Power Greens boost and the first thing, I was like, that's 1.5 greens right there.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
So, well, yeah, that's
You're
okay.
You're gonna have, now you gotta have a container to eat more of.
Yeah, that's okay. I find that like spinach is a good one for me because like, is it correct that you can measure it raw and then cook it after and it like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's okay, because that's what I've been doing. I measure it raw with the green container and then I cook it and it shrinks down to like a lot less. So it feels like I'm not eating as much as I'm measuring out.
right.
So like I
Yeah,
eat steamed
Autumn's
spinach a lot.
she's pretty like not worried about raw versus cooked, it feels like in a lot of
Okay.
answers. You know what I mean? As far as measuring.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the calorie difference is so minimal
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
between that. So it's really kind of your preference if you want to, you know, how you want
Yeah.
to do it. And sometimes it's easy. Like if I do rice cauliflower, I just pour it into the container and then pour that into the saute pan, and that's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. Tracy, did you have a question that was in the chat?
No, I was just I had answered. I was going through the detox. I think somebody was asking about the detox, and I was kind of
Yeah.
feeling. But I've kind of done stuff like this before, where you just try to eliminate. You got to get right with Jesus and eliminate some stuff for a while, and then it's like, and it it never fails. Like it always happens, and it's like a couple days a week where it's like all the bad stuff is getting out of your system, and so yeah, I was feeling the headache and the tired and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but
Yeah, it can be totally
part of the
normal
process.
compared to what you were having before, right? If you had a lot of caffeine before, a lot of sugar before, totally normal to feel those things as we're getting into this first week.
Yeah, end of summer, and then it was my birthday and the overindulgence, and then when we started right, like the Monday right after my birthday was like on Friday, and then or Thursday, and then like we started on Monday, and it was like a week or so of indulgence, and it was like, oh, gotta get all the demons out.
Yeah.
And
Gotta flush the demons.
gotta get right with the Lord, and I'm like, oh, I'm paying for it now, all the summer and birthday indulgence. So
Right.
but now it's starting to feel better.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I
Just
would
trying to
say
get the
by
water
day-
intake too.
Yeah, I mean, here we are at day 4. I would say most people should start feeling better. And hopefully if you had a lot of bloating in the beginning, hopefully that's starting to come down some too. I mean, that's for sure a week, that you want to give yourself to adjust. And sometimes it can be a little longer, just depending on what you have going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like the first time a lot of you ladies started, it was like there were a few of you that it was like a week and a half to 2 weeks before the bloating completely went away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them.
That-
I'm like, I'm one of
Yeah,
them.
it took me a week and a half, and I didn't feel the energy that everybody else felt until for about a week and a half.
Mm,
I'm
mhm.
right around that same time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, and I felt magical the first week, like I was a unicorn running through the clouds and rainbows, right? And then I upped my soy and I like crashing halt, and I was like, whoa, okay, clearly this is a problem for me. So then I had to
Yep.
like recover from that, take it out, and now it's gone.
Right.
Well, my biggest
Yeah.
adjustment this time around is I did this 2 other times, like for 2 months, I guess, but it was over the summertime. So my schedule was much less hectic. So my big adjustment has been making sure I prep because I didn't have to prep as much during the summertime because I would just basically go to work and then come home, and I wasn't dealing with the car lines and things like that with my kids. And so so the biggest difference for me is making sure I prep my foods because it's so much more important this time around for me because I have to bring everything with me for the whole day basically in the morning. And it's just been harder. It's been a lot harder. And there's more stress involved too. So I have to make sure that I take my supplements and I take the first thing because that seems to help a lot. And when I do eat all my containers, I feel better as well. So I just tell myself that. And when I get up and work out in the morning, I feel better as well. So it just, all those things put together have been helping a lot.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point. I was listening to another coach one day, and she talked about like when things get stressful and hard and you stop doing those things that make you feel good, right? You talked about how
Yeah.
working out helps you feel good, being prepared helps you feel good, eating all your good foods, right, helps you feel good. And sometimes when we get stressed and things get hard, we're like, okay, I'm going to stop doing those things that are helping me feel good, and I'm just going to throw myself into this ball of chaos and
Yeah.
wonder why I
I've
don't
been
feel
there
good.
before. I've done that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a huge win right there. You are in a stressful time and you're giving yourself the opportunity to feel good in it, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been, like I said, it's just been an adjustment. I've just had to tell myself, okay, I need to, if I have to get up at like 15 minutes earlier, that's just what I'll have to do to make sure that I get all my stuff that I need for the day packed up and ready to go. And I have been doing more on the weekends to prep, like, so that I have things to eat, because I'm busier and I don't have as much time to cook during the week. So I've had a couple bad days. I think some of I posted like that I was real stressed one morning and I already screwed up my day, and everybody was so helpful and kind, and I really appreciated that. But
That's what we're
and
here
everybody has such good ideas. I mean, not only Bev, but like everyone just helps so much, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and if anyone is having any kind of like, even if it seems small or simple, right? Like you're like, okay, I hit the afternoon and I feel like I just have this weird set of containers. What do I do? Right? Anything like that. Like throw that into the chat, because those are all things we've all dealt with. And we
Yeah.
may have, combinations we've made or found things that were easier. Or like if you want to do like a big meal prep on the weekend, what's a big pot of something that's helped you get 3 or 4 days in versus just a day or two, all of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I just encourage everybody to throw it in the chat, because it's definitely something, we all have different experiences and we may have run across that already and found something that worked for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because that's kind of what it is, right? It's trial and error. I mean, you're figuring out what
Yeah.
works in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're all here to support it and figure out what to do.
Yeah, and I keep thinking, speaking of like, I think you were the one that said about the Costco having the avocado that's
Oh
perfectly
yeah, that's
portioned
already
into like
smashed.
the,
Yeah.
I keep thinking I need to write that down on my Costco list. I just thought of that randomly because I'm looking at the blue container page right now in front of
Yeah.
me. And I'm thinking I need to get some of that because that would be perfect just to have around.
It's by the salsa, past the pre-made foods, and on your way around the corner to the eggs.
Okay, awesome.
It's right in
Thank
that
you.
section that has like salsa and hummus, and it's like I think it's Holy Guacamole is the brand, and it's right
Okay.
in the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just throw them right in the freezer because they have an expiration. There's nothing in there to preserve them. So and then they can stay a lot longer.
Yeah, because for me, with the blue container, avocado and hummus are my go-tos because like there's all these nuts on there, but that's kind of dangerous territory for me because it's hard for me to stop at just like 8 cashews or 12 almonds, like if it's just sitting around in a big container, I want to grab a handful of it, like if I'm really hungry. So I don't like to buy nuts.
Yeah.
So avocado and hummus are my blue containers that I usually do. Or coconut milk, I can do that too. I haven't tried the yogurt because I haven't found one that's like
Unsweetened.
has to be, What's that?
You haven't found one that's unsweetened?
Right.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
generally in a big container, which is a little tough because if you're not sure if you're gonna like it, you may not like
Yeah.
a big container. You know,
Yeah.
I think I did coconut yogurt once in the
Yeah.
4 pounds of gut protocol I did. So,
Mhm.
you know, it's not critical. It's on
Yeah.
the fermented foods list, but honestly, the fermented veggies that you can get are gonna be way more bang for your buck as far as helping your microbiome. So, you know, the crabs
Okay.
and the kimchis and all those kinds of things are really good.
Okay. Cool.
The avocado I like, or what I like to do is during the day. I don't know if you like cauliflower, but my favorite combo is like cauliflower, cucumber, tomato, avocado salad.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
cauliflower is like really filling for me. And so sometimes like during the day, that's usually like either my lunch or like my afternoon snack, and I'll just like chop all that. So I'm getting my, couple of greens in there, and then the blue, but the avocado, cucumber, cauliflower salad, for me is like, I used to even have that before, not doing this stuff, but that's kind of one of my favorite, because yeah, like a salad, greens are good, but usually I just like chopping up just like the vegetables and putting it together. And it used to be with like some Italian dressing or something, but now it's just like, putting it together, and that's how I mix the avocado, because it gets kind of mashed up with the vegetables, and it's kind of good.
Right.
That's
There's
for me.
actually, there's a recipe on the blog. I'm pretty sure that's jicama and cucumber, or maybe it was the reset. Could have been the reset. It's like jicama and cucumber, and I think both those things are super good with some lime and chili powder. And if you throw that avocado in there too, that'd be a nice filling, tasty way to go. And I think I put all the Ultimate Reset recipes in our chat too. So you could scan through there too to see if you need some new veggie ideas.
I don't know about you, but I like chomping on green beans. Like I'll get the bag of green beans and like steam it a little bit, like not all the way, just so they don't get all mushy, but those are my like go-to, like just snacks and stuff. Like I was going to get my son from school and threw those in a baggie, and I was chomping on those on the way to go get him. And so I like that. I've had like two containers of those today, but green beans are my jam.
Nice. I do the same thing with sugar snap peas.
Mm.
I'll take a handful with me and just wherever I'm going, just sit and chomp on those. Oh, good. Okay, everybody should get all their vegetables in now after this call because you have
How's
lots of
everybody doing?
ideas.
How's everybody doing with their 30 plants?
Oh yeah, good call, Lily.
Are you guys
I'm
tracking?
getting there. Yes, I am tracking.
I need to fill mine out again. I think I had like 14 on that first day I put it in the chat, and then I need to fill it out.
I need to fill mine out too, honestly. I haven't been filling it out.
It really is eye-opening. I think the first time we did gut protocol, I did it the whole week. And I want to say I had like 42 or 45 or something like in that range. But when you really sit down and think about like if you're doing fresh herbs and just all the different plant sources for things, it's pretty amazing.
Well, and if you're doing kimchi, chances are you have multiple things in that kimchi.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the sauerkraut is like it's got garlic, it's got red beets, it has sauerkraut,
cabbage.
Sauerkraut,
Yeah,
sauerkraut. That's
I'm with
sauerkraut
you.
in it.
Yeah. I was tracking.
But yeah, I mean, so, and yeah, like the kimchi, you're gonna have like maybe 1 or 2 types of cabbage in that. And I don't even know, like there's like usually some type of like seaweed or some type of like sea vegetable. At least in mine. I don't know what else. It's got a lot in it. It's got a lot of ingredients. I don't know. Or if you do fresh salsa, there's multiple things in that. Yeah, I don't know.
What does, this might be a dumb question, but what does kimchi count as?
It's a
I mean,
green.
I know it's a fermented food, but does it
It'd be a
count as a container?
No, it'd be a green.
A green, okay.
Yeah.
But
And it's dense, so I
pretty.
would say you don't have to fill up your whole cup because it's usually pretty dense. I don't know
yeah,
what
if you're,
ratio would be.
yeah. I mean, I usually just have like 2 tablespoons of it at a time. Like I just, since it's free
Mhm.
and we're supposed to have it at least 3 times a week, or we're supposed to have a fermented food at least 3 times a week.
Mhm.
So I usually don't load up on it because I don't know.
But it is,
I
yeah,
I,
like,
I,
since
I
it's a
like it to be an
free food,
add-in.
yeah, it's
What?
not necessarily that you have to count it when you have it, right? So if
Right.
you have a plan for things and you're at, like if you're in a weight loss bracket where you feel like you're right on the edge, like all the food you get is all the food you need, right? Then, your kimchi isn't as, you're not counting it as a green container, but it is a vegetable.
Okay. Cause I've just been doing, kombucha for my fermented stuff. I haven't really been eating anything. I've just been drinking that for the fermented food. Is that okay? Or do I need to eat like a sauerkraut or a kimchi or something like that?
I mean, it is okay because you're at 3 and 3 is the max that you can have of kombucha.
Okay.
But I would try something during this time because
Okay.
what I think we've all found with the fermented vegetables, like if you get a sauerkraut, there's various kinds. But if you add some of that in with a bowl of things or add it in
Mhm.
with your sauteed veggies or things like that, then it just kind of blends in and it makes things a little bit salty. Um,
Okay.
it's kind of got a brininess to it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really change what you
The
already have
taste.
going. You know what I mean? It's not
Okay.
like super
Mhm.
strong. I mean, a kimchi is going to be stronger than a
It's
sauerkraut.
gonna be spicy.
Yeah.
And they,
Spicy and
yeah, and they
salty.
usually have a fish sauce in them. So I think so. I don't know if they'd, but you know what I mean? I would try something and see
Okay.
what you think.
I will. I guess I've just been like intimidated with kimchi. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'd
Mhm.
go for a sauerkraut first. I think it's
Okay.
more mild. It's not, so when you get the jarred kind on the shelf, it's more pickly and it's stronger. When you get the sauerkraut that's fermented in the way we're talking about, that's in the refrigerated section. It's
Oh,
cabbage
okay.
that's just a little bit salty.
Okay.
And it still has some crunch to it. It's not
Mhm.
like it's, mushy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not like
gonna
the sauerkraut that goes with the
the hot
sausage.
dogs. Yeah.
It's not like you're going to the sausage supper in St. Louis at one of the churches
yeah.
and they give you the sauerkraut with the sausage. It's not
Right.
quite like that. No,
Like they're
it's
dumping
not
it out of
that.
like a aluminum can or something.
Yeah, it's definitely
No,
more
it's not
mild.
like that.
Okay, so I'm writing myself a note, cold section sauerkraut. And
Yeah.
where's the kimchi in the store usually? Is that in the produce section, like in the cold part of the
Yes.
produce section?
It's with the
Yeah.
vegan options generally in most stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would just look for where they have the tofu and it's gonna be around there. And they
Okay.
may have other fermented options there too.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. And like the brand we all really liked was Cleveland brand, and I think that's pretty widely distributed.
Or
Cleveland.
wild
They
brine.
also
Or
has
wild brine.
brine.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Mm.
I have wild brine in both my kimchi and my sauerkraut.
And that's
Yeah,
the
Like
best.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that one.
That one's yummy.
Yeah.
If you like
Yeah.
beets,
Wild
if you
brine.
like beets, this wild brine one is really good.
Okay.
You know,
This
I
one's
do.
like super spicy, which I love, of course.
Oh, I
Mm.
wish I could find that.
Is that one a local one, Lily?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I think it's a local one. I don't remember. I think I got this one at Whole Foods maybe or
Oh,
PC.
okay.
It was an
And then-
organic store.
One more option too that I'd consider if you, I don't know how you feel about Asian food, but miso is fantastic. And there's a really delicious hearty miso soup in the Ultimate Reset um recipes. So not only are you going to get like 3 cups of vegetables, but you're also going to get some fermented food with your miso. And it tells you how to make all the steps to make it so that you don't ruin the fermentation of it because you're actually mixing the meat. You're like, it's kind of like when you make custard and you put the eggs in just a little bit. You're doing the same thing with the miso, so it doesn't cook it out and it stays
Mhm.
a beneficial food. But I think that soup is like super fantastic, and you get a ton of veggies. It's really satisfying. And
I've done the Ultimate Reset before, but I must have skipped that one because I never made that.
yeah,
So is that recipe available like on Beachbody on
yeah.
or like
So if you,
It's
this will be a good reminder too. In our chat, if you go up to the top of the chat, you can get a menu and it'll say files and links and photos. So if you click on
Mhm.
that, I added the link for the Ultimate Reset recipes.
Oh, cool. Thank
And
you.
then it's also in the Nutrition Center under Ultimate Reset.
Thank you. Awesome. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I think I was really shocked at that soup. I don't know when we had it during the reset, it was really good.
I didn't ever have the hearty one. I just always had miso, and we just added like you know my cabbage, my Napa cabbage situation.
Right.
So like
Yeah, they grow them big in Missouri. I don't know what happens there.
I
Hers
couldn't
are like
fit
this big and hers
Yeah.
is like this big.
this long, this big at the bottom. But yeah, so what couldn't fit into the pan, we would chop up and then throw into the pot with the miso or for the miso soup. And we would, we would cook it down a little bit and then we would add the miso in right at the end. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was we had a lot of that Napa cabbage. And they're still giant like that. Like, I don't know.
So
funny.
any other questions?
Right.
Yeah, Maribel.
Yes. Is there any fiber? I know I mentioned this to Lily that I can buy extra on Beachbody.
Digestive fiber.
Yeah.
Digestive fiber. It's a boost. It's one of the Shakeology boosts.
It'll
It's
be
a
in the
blue one, right?
Shakeology section.
Yeah. It's
Digestive. I think it's called digestive health.
or digestive health.
But
Yeah,
it's-
it's a white container with blue writing on it. I think.
But there's not like the one that comes with the 3-day refresh, right?
Right, it's not
The
that one.
fiber sweep. No, it's not
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
it's the Shakeology branded one that you just throw in your shake. I think it's like 6 grams of fiber.
Yeah, look
Right.
under Shakeology
It
boost.
might actually count as something.
Well, let's
Does
see
it?
if she has it under the boost stuff here.
I have way too many tabs open on my computer right now.
Let's go to the program materials.
That's what I.
Okay.
Let's see, nutrition.
I wonder if there's one that has like Shakeology bases. Here we go. Oh, that's just the milks.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think it counts for anything.
I don't think so, because otherwise it would probably be in that Shakeology section.
Mm.
I think you got a freebie.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know. I really like that fiber sweep. I know I'm weird.
It's very good.
Stir and drink, but I loved it. I thought it was like
I-
fruit water. It was amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm like, and people kind of thought I was crazy. I'm like, I guess I just haven't had Fruit Loops in a very long time. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I was surprised too. I was surprised. I think it was a lemony kind of thing.
A
Yeah.
little, yeah, and then
It's like lemon water. I was actually surprised like that. I was like, oh, when I was gonna take it for the first time, I was like, okay. But I was like, oh, maybe isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So it was like lemony.
Yeah, it's like, and since it's got bits, it's like the little bits of
like
Fruit
pulp.
Loops that are left over in the.
I was thinking this like it was like a pulpy lemon water, and so I was thinking of it that way or something.
Mm.
But yeah, not bad.
It's good stuff. Okay, well, any other questions?
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
On the green containers, I just noticed, and I didn't notice this before. It says that the Power Greens Boost is 2 scoops for a green container, but on the container, it says each serving of the powder is 1 cup of green vegetables. So, if that's just a gut protocol thing?
Let me search
No,
one of the groups.
it's 2 scoops is 1 green for portion fix and gut protocol.
I
Really?
think it just changed. Yeah.
'Cause that wasn't what I remembered from before.
No.
I mean, because even the
like years
container
ago,
says
yes. Right.
1 cup.
Years ago it was. So I don't remember when they made that change.
Been a
But
couple
Oh, it's so disappointing. Like between the first thing and that and something else. Like
but
I
it's
thought I was
okay.
getting more greens than I was.
But it's okay. It's not, you were, just think about it. You were doing that before and you were, having success. You weren't
Yeah.
starving. You were feeling, satiated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that matters, in the end,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
what
When
matters.
I did this over the summer, I've never not to sound dramatic, but I've never felt better, honestly. Like I haven't felt that good for a long time, I guess I should say. And my mental health, physical health, just everything was improved. And I had this terrible eczema on my hands. I felt swollen, it all went away, everything. So I'm really trying to stay on track this time around because I've felt so incredible the other times. And I lost weight. I lost 24 pounds. So I did really good
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's one of my main
Yeah.
goals. I need to lose, my goal is to lose probably 50 more. So I have quite a bit to go, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is just to feel great like I felt before. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt great on it too. It was amazing how much energy I had.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the ladies here know, it's the way I live my life. Like this is literally like the program that pretty much shows everybody this is what Beverly does and has been doing for years. With some caveats, I have a little bit more restrictions here and there, and I may be a little bit looser in some areas, but overall that's how I mainly live. And I don't ever look at so I'll have custard and I don't go, oh no, I fell off track. I never look at it as I'm on it or I'm off it. I just look at this is how I eat on a regular basis overall to feel the way I want to feel and to be who I want to be. And if I have something different, okay, I have it, but I know that I'm going to go back to where I was because that's how I want to be. That's how I want to feel. So I just always look at that. And I never think about oh, well, I fell off track. I don't believe that there's a perfect way to be. I mean, it's great to do a duration of 30 days solid without having anything else because your body can really heal. And the longer you can go, the more it can heal without putting in those inflammatory things. But I mean, a lot can be said about what you're saying in your head about what that means. And I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up ridiculous amounts And it's like, no, it was just one thing and it's okay. We just go back to where you were before. It's fine. It'll all be good. Give it another 24 hours, you'll feel better. Trust me. Cause I will notice, like, it's very evident if I have too much of anything, and too much can look like, one serving of something, of certain things, whereas other things I can have a little bit more. But then if I have too much, again, it's bad. It's bad news. And I'm like, okay, nope, don't want to feel like that. I'm going back, going back to the regular. So.
Yeah. That's great advice. Thank you.
All right, so yeah, we're already 8 o'clock. Now that I'm on Central Time, right? It's very exciting to be in the same time zone as some of you. So yeah,
Time zone.
so
And Maribel.
what is tomorrow for Funky Friday? I haven't even looked.
World
Smile
Smile Day.
Day. Okay, World Smile Day. So everyone should put a sweaty selfie. If you have not been logging your workouts in the group, log them in the group. We want to see your sweaty selfie and your pretty face so that we can give you
Oh,
high fives.
Just take a selfie. Just any selfie will do. It doesn't have
I've
to be
only
sweaty
been
if you don't
logging
want to
them.
share a sweaty one.
I've only been logging them in Bev's group. So should I log them in both groups?
Yeah.
You can,
you
because it's
can.
just a little toggle of the buttons. And then it
Okay.
magically goes off to all of them.
So
Mhm.
workout and shake too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
You
We
might
love it all.
motivate somebody else to work out. You never know
exactly.
by sharing
Yeah.
your workout.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did just figure out the date for the next meal prep class. It will be November 13th, because November 6th I will be with Lily and Amwala in Seattle. So I can't do it then. So we'll do November 13th and
Okay.
meet up then. Maybe we'll have some Thanksgiving inspired recipes. There's a really
That'd be good.
wonderful cauliflower, what's it called? Like cauliflower stuffing. It's so good. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't think it's a bad one. I'll see it. I'll maybe work it up into some containers or something. It's so delicious. We may have to make it. Okay, and so in the group, yeah, just keep putting those questions in the chat and logging in the group, and we'll just keep pushing into week 2. Really nothing changes other than now you can introduce raw vegetables in week 2. So and see how that is for you. We had someone I know in our first group that felt like that really created a lot of bloating, and they went to just pretty much cooking everything for the whole 4 weeks. So listen to you, see how you're feeling as you make some of these transitions so that you're feeling your best. And if you need to cook them a little longer or just stay uncooked, then that's totally cool too.
Okay.
I've found it's easier. I
Yeah,
know
or-
it sounds
or if you
crazy,
can look
but
at
I
your meal
found it's
prep.
easier.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
any way that works for you works great. It's not like you have to be on the raw or something, there's no have tos. Just eat your veggies.
Mhm. Pretty much.
Get all those containers in.
Yes,
All right,
mom.
guys. Well, we'll see
Yes,
you
Mom.
in
Take a
the
picture.
group. And oh yeah,
Oh,
picture.
take a picture. Take a picture.
Always good with the pictures. Okay.
Picture. I know.
All right, everybody smile. Yay. Okay. So yeah, so we'll see you in the group. I think Lily took one too. We're grouping together.
It goes
She
boop.
has to
Sure,
back
I'm
me up
guys.
'cause I rarely remember to put the picture anywhere. So then,
I got you.
yeah, I don't know. You just got to watch what I'm doing. So, all right. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and yeah, we'll see you
You as
soon.
well.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to jump on Zoom tomorrow morning. Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you haven't been jumping on the workout Zooms, jump on with everybody. Get your
Yes,
workout
if you
in.
can, definitely.
Super fun. I will post that. Have
Yeah.
you posted the link in the chat yet?
We can
So are all the Zooms the same? Like, I guess I'm not sure where to find.
So they're not.
That's
So
Oh,
this
okay.
Zoom is always the same. So if
Oh,
you
okay.
mark it somewhere, this nutrition call, always the same Zoom.
Oh, okay.
The virtual gym, always the same Zoom, but it's Lily's link. And so
Oh, okay.
we'll post that in the chat.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
that we can, so everybody knows, and there's someone on there from 5 AM Eastern usually up until we're probably 10 o'clock at least Pacific time. So it's pretty much all morning. There's gonna be somebody on there working out.
And
I
I
should
think
do the
there's-
5 AM.
You should.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
I think there's like 4 or 5 of us doing Jared's live cycling class tomorrow morning at 9 AM Pacific Standard Time now.
11 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
I will be on earlier though, because I have a lift more workout to do still. So I'll
Oh,
be
me
on early.
too.
Yeah, we'll be on early.
I'm on Lift More.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, so
Yeah.
jump on and join the group, and you know, it's fun to work out together in the morning, get it done.
It's motivating
Oh.
to get out of bed and get it done.
And yes, Lily will take your picture. Just know that going in, you're gonna get your picture taken.
Yes, if she sees you on there, hi,
I'm in the middle of a live.
smile, take a picture.
That was me the other day. I was like, I can't take a picture. You guys would keep hopping on and off, and I can't. I'm in a live class. I can't jump off.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. We'll see you later.
All right,
You
you
too.
too. Bye.
Bye.
Have fun with your
Bye.
family.